How you doing? If you are watching this, you have scanned the QR code and are looking for some help with the quarantine work. So, first of all, I hope you're feeling all right, and I hope that we get you back in the classroom soon. But in the meantime, here's some practice for you with what we're working on. We are adding and subtracting positive and negative integers now, which is just a fancy way of saying we're adding and subtracting positives and negatives. It can be sort of tricky and confusing at first unless you have something in real life to think about. So, the thing I'd like you guys to think about is an activity that I hope you were in school for called Floats and Anchors about a submarine. So, let's take a look at that now. There was an activity that we tried where there's a little submarine here, and you can either add floats to it, which make it go up. For every float you add, the submarine will go up 1 unit. And for every anchor you add, it'll go down 1 unit. The anchors weigh it down, and the floats help it move up. So on the quarantine work here, your key is says positives are floats and negatives are anchors. That's what that means. As you add positives, or if you add floats, they go up. If you add anchors or negatives, it will go down. So, just to back up a little bit, in the first set of problems, we will be only adding floats or anchors. And in the level two problems, I'll teach you what subtracting or removing floats and anchors looks like. And then finally, level three is just a mix of everything to practice what you've learned in level one and level two. So as an example here, um, 3 plus -2 means that our submarine started at 3. Let's take a look at that. Our submarine will start at a level 3 here. Okay, you can check on the number line that we're on 1, 2, and 3. And if we're adding -2, it means we're adding two anchors because the -2 tells us that it's two anchors. 3 plus +2 would be adding two floats, but we're adding two negatives, so that means we're adding two anchors to the submarine. Let's go ahead and add two anchors to the submarine. What you'll notice is it drops down 2 because we added two anchors. Since we started at 3, we ended at 1, and our answer will be 1. If we start at -1 and we add 5 floats, let's take a look at what that looks like. This time we will start at -1, and let me just set it up. Here we go. If we're starting at -1 and we're going to add 5 floats because it says -1 plus 5. I'm going to add 5 floats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually ending up at +4. So my answer to this problem will be +4. As you work through these level one problems, think of the first number as where you start your submarine, and then you're either adding floats, which are positives, or you're adding anchors, which are negatives. I'll run through two more examples for you. If we start at -3 and we add 3 floats, it would look like this. We'll start at -3. Oops, sorry about that. We start at -3, but we add 3 floats. 1, 2, 3. We actually end up at 0. So you can think of 3 positives and 3 negatives as being balanced or 0. However, if we start at +3 and add and we add 3 anchors because it's 3 negatives, let's see what happens. Start at 3, add 3 anchors. Start up at 3. Now I will add 3 anchors. 1, 2, and 3. Again, we end up at 0. So as you work through these problems, I want you to think about the first number as where the submarine starts, and we're adding either positive floats in this case, or we're adding negative anchors. And you can act out with your submarine and your number line or a drawing what might be happening. In level two problems, it's very similar, except we're always subtracting, which means we're always removing floats or anchors. So let's explore that for a moment. If we are on 0 right now, and I add a float, we already know that will make us move up, but instead, I want to remove floats. If we get rid of floats, it should make some sense that it's going to sink because we no longer have those floats, which helped us go up. However, if we remove anchors, we're taking off weight and therefore helping the submarine move up. So as we remove anchors, it goes up, and as we remove floats, it goes down. That's why in the key up here, I wrote adding floats goes up, removing floats goes down, whereas adding anchors will make it go down because they're heavy, but removing the anchors will make the submarine go up because you're removing that weight. Let's do a couple level two problems together, and that should get you started for this handout. If we start at a level 5 and we remove 3 floats, let's see what happens. We'll start at level 5, and I'm going to remove 3 floats. 1, 2, 3. We end up at 2, and I think you probably would have known without this class that 5 minus 3 is 2. However, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Look at the difference between this problem here, 5 minus 3, and this problem here, 5 minus negative 3. This is saying start at 5 and remove 3 floats. However, the second problem says start at 5 and remove 3 anchors. If there's no parentheses with a negative sign, it means what you're removing are floats. However, if there is a parentheses and a negative, that means you're removing anchors. So here we're removing 3 anchors. Here we're removing 1 anchor. Here we're removing 2 anchors and removing 4 anchors. Here we're taking away 10 anchors. Whereas in these problems here, we're taking away 3 floats, taking away 1 float, taking away 2 floats, taking away 4 floats. So to finish this problem, we'll start at 5 and we'll remove 3 anchors. So here we go, start it up at 5. And I'm going to remove 3 anchors. Removing weight will make it go down. It'll make it go up because I'm removing the weight. Let me start over. We're at 5 and I'm going to remove 3 anchors. 1, 2, 3. I took 3 weights off, so it helped it float up 3 units, and now we're ending at 8. Some of you will probably want to just grab a calculator and run through these and get it done. But I promise if you use a calculator to finish these quickly and then come into class, you may be running the risk of getting really confused in class. I know this is tough without a teacher to ask for help, and the video is helpful a little bit, but I'm sure anyone who might be watching this with you has never learned how to do it this way. So if you're frustrated or confused, please reach out to me. I hope this video helps. Uh, you can use a calculator, like I said, but I don't recommend it because it's not going to help you sort of work through that frustration. And when you come back into class, you may be more than confused and not able to jump into the lessons as easily. So level 3 is just a mix of level 1 and 2 problems and meant to just give you some practice so you can jump back in as you return to school. Good luck and reach out if you need my help. Your family should have my cell phone number.